lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play, yeah.
This is the Triple Play Fantasy Basketball Show. Back at you for week 20 with playoffs right around the corner. It might even be next week. This is the must tune in section because this is when winning and losing become a factor and you go home fishing, or you can lift said Bill Russell trophy in the air, which we all want to do. So we're here to help you do that. I'm your host, Coach James Lewis. My buddy on the other end, Jacob Dunne.
Yes, sir, my man. Like you said, man, the playoffs, Jacob Dunne. Playoffs are right around the corner, you know, and some people are already in the thick of it. But if you are fighting for a spot, all I got to say is, guys, stop holding on to these injury guys if they are costing you an active roster spot, because they are not going to do you any good if you are eliminated from the playoffs. Yes, you got to cut ties. And I actually made a video on the Triple Play channel letting you know which guys to cut and, you know, like which guys you can afford to keep. But you guys, it's the playoffs, all right?
Yeah,
you got to go all in.
Yep, Anthony Davis owners. The guy that drafted Jamal Murray in the last round, hoping that he'd come back. Just let it go. Just let it go. You gotta go all in on the chips. This is where games played become a huge factor. This week, it's an even week, as I like to think of it. When all the teams play 4 or 3 games, it makes it pretty damn even. And 16 teams play 4. That makes the other 14 play 3. So it's as even Steven as it gets. We're here to take you all the way to the ship. So under rostered free agents, pickups, waiver wire, safe floor, under rostered players, drops, possible streams. And then at the end, we talk about our fantasy performances of the week. Let's get right into it. These are rostered positions, percentages, rather, as of Saturday morning, March 5th. Our number one waiver and streamer, Jacob.
Man, Isaiah Roby has been on fire over his last 4 games as the starter for OKC. Roby is averaging over 16 points, 8 boards, almost 3 assists, almost 2 steals, and almost a block while shooting over 53% from the field. All right, he just came fresh off a game where he scored 26 points, 7 boards, 5 dimes, and 4 stocks, 2 steals and 2 blocks. I mean, this guy is on fire right now for an OKC team that wants to see these young guys get a lot of burn. So add Isaiah Roby right now and ride him until the wheels fall off, if they ever do.
And that makes me bring up a drop candidate, which is Darius Bazley, who has not been playing well lately, although he's been providing some of your stocks that you like. His field goal percentage is down. He's not rebounding the same way as he was a couple weeks ago, where he was literally a must-own. So drop Bazley.
He's safe floor in points leagues, but not in 9-cat. He's a drop for sure. I agree.
Yeah, so I had to let go, cut ties with him. Poku is somebody that I'm watching, and you could even tickle a pickup because has been providing those defensive stacks that you crave at 3 stocks a game. In the last week, averaging 10 points, 8 rebounds, 3.3 assists, field goal percentage a little porous at 39%, giving you more than 1 3. And the defensive production, as I mentioned. So he's somebody that I wouldn't say pull the trigger. If Roby's there, pick him up.
Yes, sir.
But Poku, definitely keep an eye on.
Yep.
Criminally under-rostered players, and these are 2 big fellas from the Indiana Pacers that have been reaping the benefits of either trade Sabonis or Miles Turner, who there's a possible return of him. And I'm Indiana, just put them on the shelf, see what these young guys do together. Jalen Smith, Sticks, as they call him, 36% rostered, 17% last week. 13 points, 8 rebounds, hitting 2 threes, field goal percentage crazy, 54%. And then giving you some stocks
Yeah.
15 points, 15 boards. You got any love for Jalen Smith over there, Jacob?
I got mad love for him right now because the Pacers are giving him all the minutes he can handle, and he's been in and out of the starting lineup, but he's been getting consistent minutes in the 20s because the Pacers want to see what they have in him. And what they have in him is a gem. All right. Jalen Smith needs to be rostered right now because he's just been balling out. And like I said, he just went 15 for 15 just 2 days ago on March 2nd. So ride him while he's hot and just keep riding him because I honestly don't see Miles Turner coming back with the Pacers over 10 games back from the 10th seed. So I think that Jalen Smith's going to get a lot of run this season.
His big man, teammate.
Yes, sir. Isaiah Jackson. Guys, like I said last week, I have been pounding the table for Isaiah Jackson ever since Sabonis got traded. And he has been quietly balling out over the last 5 games in the starting lineup since returning from his ankle injury. All right. He's averaging over 12 points, over 6 boards, almost shooting 70% from the field. But it's those blocks. He's averaging 3 blocks a game over his last 5 games. So add him right now in all 9-cat leagues and all points leagues because he is in the starting lineup. He finally played 26 minutes last game. So his minutes are on the rise. And if he can stay within 25 to 30 minutes, he's going to get you those points, boards, field goal percentage, and that almighty blocks category. So add him right now.
I want you to see my face real quick. This guy could be a league winner for you.
Salute
a league
you,
winner
bro.
for you, Ijax. And Jacob put us on real early. The last, 5 games since he came back from his injury, 4 blocks, 1 block, 2 block, 3 blocks, 5 blocks. That is a category winner. I got him in both of my leagues, and a statistic that I had not been winning all season is now turning into a W. In each category matters big time, whether you're 7-cat, 9-cat, 11-cat. And he's not going to shoot you out. Look at his field goal percentage. He's all the way up there. He's getting rebounds, points. His ability to block shots is just unbelievable.
Love it.
And I could see him as a top 5 block per game going future as he's just in his rookie season. So shout out IJAC owners. And if he's sitting there 45% roster, go pick him up. You could win blocks for the rest of the season.
Pick him up now. Payne, guys, he finally returned from that wrist injury. All right. And, he has been starting the last 2 games. Now, there was some concern that he would be brought on slowly, but with Devin Booker out with COVID, Payne was thrusted right into the starting lineup. And over the last 2 games, he is averaging 11 points, 12 dimes, 2.5 boards, and 1.5 steals. And he's coming fresh off a Friday night game where he got 17 points, 16 dimes.
16 dimes.
16 dimes. All right. Along with 3 boards and a steal. All right. This guy is going to get you points and assists the rest of the season because CP3 is not coming back in the regular season. If you are holding on to Chris Paul, cut him now. It doesn't matter if he's not even costing you an IL spot. I mean, he's not coming back. All right. So it's the Payne show for the rest of the season. So add him immediately.
He's looking a little bit like CP3 with them 16 dimes.
Really is.
And the savvy owners out there that picked him up when he was still hurt, was able to throw him on the IL, pick up another person. And now that he's here, he has arrived. He's a must play.
Yes, sir.
A safe candidate, someone that I picked up a long time ago. I've been pondering whether I'm going to drop this guy at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I picked him up and why I love that I still have him, Herbert Jones of the New Orleans Pelicans, 49% rostered. He's criminally under rostered, and he's safe. Look at those stocks per game. He's giving you 16 in the last 4.
Holy
That's
diver.
4 per game. That has to lead the NBA. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. None of that wows you out. This is 4 categories. This is a category champ. And against Sacramento on March 2nd, he had 14.6 boards, hit 2 threes, but 5 stocks. So give me all the Herb Jones if he's there.
His rostership was actually fluctuating once CJ came to New Orleans, but he's always been consistent with those stocks. Like his points and rebounds and assists, they may fluctuate, they may come and go, but those stocks are here to stay. So he needs to be rostered in every single 9-cat league moving forward.
And I think this guy's a future all defensive team
I love it.
Player and multiple time.
Yep.
perhaps with his versatility defensively.
I love it. Oh, Jaxon Hayes. I love Jaxon Hayes. He over his last 5 games as a starter, including last Friday's game where he only played 20 minutes due to a blowout against Utah. He is averaging 11.2 points, 6.6 boards, 1.2 assists while shooting 70% from the field and 1 block. Okay, Zion ain't coming back. If you have him, cut him now. All right, Jaxon Hayes is the starter moving forward. So he has that safe floor of points and rebounds and blocks. Okay, he might not wow you. He will have the occasional huge game, but he is going to be consistent with those points, rebounds, and blocks. So add him right now if you need a consistent low-end big man with upside.
Yeah, and he's a little bit like Ajax, except he doesn't wow you with as many blocks, but he gets more steals and he gets more assists. So he's very good. He's a very good fantasy player down the stretch, playing with Jonas Valanciunas as they're trying the big boy lineup that Cleveland has been very successful in this year. My pickup this week, Emmanuel Quickley, finally play the guy. I mean, he's spectacular last year as a rookie. He looked like he was made for the moment. Tibbs, just put the the young kid in the game, let him play. And he's finally been able to play a little bit here. In the last week, he's averaging 15 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, shooting 46% from the field, hitting more than 2 threes, getting a steal against Phoenix just yesterday at 13 points, 8 boards, 2 assists. He looked good against the Lakers. I hope that they let him play it even more going forward. Why not? They're out of everything. They look terrible, and we saw Julius Randle basically lose the game as he gets kicked out for pushing Cam Johnson. That was beautiful, though. Cam Johnson had the last laugh. He had 38 points. He had 9 threes, and then he hit the game winner at the buzzer. So,
love it.
And we you know how big we are on Cam Johnson in this pod.
Yes,
so that was a cool moment.
Yes. And as soon as the Knicks and Kemba Walker agreed that Kemba wouldn't play the rest of the season, I tweeted out, keep your eye on Quickley, because when he gets the minutes, he produces, especially in points, rebounds, and assists and threes. Okay, the steals will come and go. Those will fluctuate. But if you need points, rebounds, assists, and steals, I would give him a long look, especially in deep leagues. Lonnie Walker, the 4th. Okay, over his last 7 games, he has scored in double digits and is averaging 21.7 points, 3 boards, 2.6 threes, 1.7 assists while shooting 53% from the field. And he is coming fresh off a 30-point burger with 5 threes, 2 boards, and 2 assists. Lonnie's getting a lot of minutes off the bench. Okay, it doesn't matter that he's not starting. You need to have this man in your lineup if you need those points, if you need those 3-pointers, and if you need low-end rebounds and assists. Okay, he's not going to wow you with steals or blocks and stocks. So if you're looking for stocks, then look the other way. But he's providing enough points, rebounds, and threes to be rostered in all formats right now.
And especially in categories league, you got to really navigate your matchup, who you're playing, and the identity of your team. You got to go all in on the categories that you can win. And if the points is in the air, you pick him up, because he's flame throwing right now with Derek White now in Boston.
That's right. Exactly.
Dallas boys are benefiting now that Porzingis is out and Reggie Bullock is hitting the 3. So again, another category that you can attack. Over like the last month, he's been hot shooting the ball. Just last week, he's giving you 3-pointers a game. That's probably in the top 10, 12. But the stocks, 1.3 steals, 1.3 blocks, like out of nowhere, he's been very, very versatile defensively. And this game against Golden State, he had 14 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 4 3-pointers made, and then 4 stocks. That's solid in any league. So give me the Reggie Bullock in a 12-team, 14-team format.
Yes, sir. He's getting the minutes, so stream.
We are watching the return of former number 1 overall pick Markelle Fultz. Now, this isn't hey, go pick him up, but I just more just a shout out. Coming back over torn ACL after finally playing some promising basketball last year. He is just, to me, I think he's a very smart IQ player, and we will see how this works. But I could see 6-man role going forward, because I do like the Suggs and Anthony pairing in the backcourt right now, but I would like him maybe come in, give you some spark off the bench, and so shout out Markelle Fultz for coming back off his torn ACL.
Yeah, so any random game that you need Fultz and he is playing, he will get you very low-end points, rebounds, and assists. He will not play on back-to-back. All right, he's already sitting out Saturday's game, and he has a back-to-back coming up on March 8th and 9th. So he's going to sit out one of those games. So he's not going to be a reliable fantasy producer for you. But yeah, it's great to see that he's back so soon from the ACL, unlike his teammate, Jonathan Isaac. So maddening. He's a drop if you haven't already. He's not coming back this season. But yeah, man, it's cool to see Fultz return, especially with all of the mental health issues that he's been dealing with throughout his career. It's great to see him on the court. So, it's awesome. And, if you ever need that stream for one game for points, rebounds, and assists, then give him a look.
Streamer alert.
Streamer.
Benefit of stream this past week with the Raptors playing 5 games. Precious Achiuwa benefited off of the OG Anunoby having an injury, Fred VanVleet with a knee injury being out, giving you 15 points, 7 boards, 2 steals. The big shocker here, though, he's in the 3 now. He didn't even take a 3 last year at all. But 1.6
nice
3-pointers, man. And it looks good. It looks clean. And he's like the Manimal 2.0. With his physique, but 20 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 3 3-pointers against Brooklyn on the 28th. And he's been producing in the past 2 weeks with all these minutes. His Raptor teammate, Malachi Flynn, as well. Yeah,
so to piggyback on Precious, OG Anunoby's out for 2 weeks, so that's a good stream for sure. And then next, Malachi Flynn. Since entering the starting lineup for Fred VanVleet, the 23-year-old is averaging 16 points, 5.5 assists, 4 rebounds, a steal, while shooting 57% from the field. And he's coming fresh off a Friday night game where he posted 20 points, 8 assists, 4 threes, 3 rebounds, a steal, and a block for a very well-rounded game. Okay, as long as Fred VanVleet is on the sidelines with a knee injury, Malachi Flynn is a must stream. Okay, while Fred VanVleet is expected back any day now, that is no guarantee, because Fred VanVleet said that ever since the All-Star break, his knee has gotten worse. So the Raptors could elect to just sit him out more games without actually saying, okay, he's out 2 to 3 weeks. So, as VanVleet can return any day now, Flynn can go back to the wire. But as long as VanVleet is on the sidelines, stream Flynn.
And maybe all those minutes that the Raptors starters are playing are catching up with them finally.
Right.
With 3 of their players in the top 10 in minutes per game.
Right.
Nick Nurse has really played them long minutes, and maybe that's catching up a little bit. I don't know. I'm not trying to point the finger at poor Nick Nurse, as I think he's one of the league's best coaches that we have. Now, the league's best streamer this year, Gabe Vincent of the Miami Heat. Lowry out again with personal reasons. He's 22% rostered, but in his 20 spot starts this year, 13 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, 3 threes, and a steal. So
love it.
Every time Lowry's out, they throw him in there. He plays heavy minutes and he produces. He's game ready. 21 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 threes, 2 steals at Milwaukee against Jrue Holiday on March 2nd. Jacob and I are huge fans of Gabe Vincent this entire year, and from unknown to streamer of the year.
Yes, sir.
And he's now shooting guard eligible as well. He was just point guard for the longest all year, but point guard, shooting guard flexibility. We like players with flexibility.
Beautiful. All right, this next guy, Grant Williams, is just a solid real-life player, but now he's getting more minutes with Jalen Brown out with his injury. All right, Jalen Brown is dealing with an ankle injury. They don't know the severity of it yet. But for as long as Jalen Brown is out, then Grant Williams needs to be streamed, especially in deeper leagues, because over the last 2 games, he is heating up, averaging 14.5 points, 5.5 boards, 2.5 threes, while shooting 58.8% from the field. in 31.2 minutes. So he's getting the minutes off the bench, and the Celtics love him. All right, he is a nice glue guy off the bench. And he's coming off a game last March 1st where he posted 18 points, 7 rebounds, assists, and a block. So he does get those quiet blocks for you. So I would stream Grant Williams for as long as Jalen Brown is out, especially in deeper leagues.
Yeah, he's a winning basketball player. So shout out that he's actually producing statistically. And now it is time for our players of the week.
Pow.
Going back to Canada.
Woo! Scottie Barnes, guys. All right, he is coming fresh off a game where he scored 28 points, 16 rebounds, 5 steals, 4 assists, and a block. Okay, and that was last Monday. Okay, and then he followed that up with a back-to-back game against the same Nets and scored 18 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 stocks. Okay, his season stats are decent for the rookie, all right? He is averaging 14.9 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1.1 steals, and 0.8 blocks in 55 games. And earlier this week, we were given a show when the Raptors faced the Pistons. All right, it was Scottie Barnes versus Cade Cunningham. It was the battle of the rookies, and it did not disappoint. Like, I got my popcorn ready. Both players were on fire. It was such a fun game to watch. But I've been loving watching Scottie Barnes play, and like he's had an incredible week, and I can't wait to see how his career unfolds.
Yeah, and the former Mount Vert teammates. They have a brothership and playing Team USA together as well. And it's amazing to see what they look like on the court because they play like veterans.
They do.
And they look like veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And Cade Cunningham, oh my goodness, does he challenge his rookie of the year? Or I mean, I know Mobley pretty much got it locked up, but damn, that guy has been on fire, sizzling since that rough start at the beginning. I did want to throw a tidbit on the Raptors here. You see, he dropped 28. They've had 6 players drop at least 28 in a game, which is it's stupid. Boucher, the entire starting lineup, and they have 4 players that have dropped at least 35. So the rest of the starting lineup, Gary Trent Jr., he had like 43 in a game. Fred VanVleet, Pascal, they have all done it in OG as well. So shout out to Raptors because I don't think anybody in the league can say that at all. To have that many players that can give you 28 in a given night.
I love it.
Moving on to my player of the week, and you're like, man, how come they haven't talked about Boogie yet?
Boogie
saved the best for last. DeMarcus Cousins, man, 17% rostered. Yes, he was a benefactor of Jokic being out, but just yesterday gave us 31 points. So this would be a stream of the year. 31 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 threes, 3 steals, 1 block. Of course, it's against the team that's been getting drugged all year in streamers, and that is Houston. Whoever plays against Houston, you play that guy. It's a must stream. And then a couple games before that, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 threes, 2 stocks. That's nothing to sniff at either against Portland. So, man, shout out to DeMarcus Cousins. We're not suggesting you pick him up, but man, I love watching some throwback Boogie because he'll give you a couple games here and there and be like, oh, I remember that player from Sacramento.
Shout out Boogie. I love it, dude. I love it.
All right. Anything you need to plug on the way out?
I just want to say again, guys, if you haven't checked out my must-drop candidates on the Triple Play Fantasy channel, please check that out. But just if you are fighting for that playoff spot, I can't say it enough. Just please drop that player for a hot free agent or streamer. One of these guys that Coach Lewis and I have talked about. Please make the switch so that we can fight and see and live to fight another day. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's win you a ship.
Let's do it. And I wanted to promote my video. I did a lottery mock draft that has been very successful, over 1K views. I'm planning on doing the entire first round sometime this next week because people were asking about it, and I'm already prepped. To cover the entire draft. So I'm going to release my first round mock draft, or I guess big board, coming soon.
Can't wait.
And finish with a little plug talk. We're a proud member of Fantasy Points Media Group, of course. Please tune into our Triple Play Fantasy podcast every week for our baseball, football, basketball. Our Triple Play Fantasy YouTube channel is also dropping content every day, as we just plugged a couple of our videos. Check us out on Twitter and IG at Triple Play Fantasy. Shout out David, Eric, Kevin, Art, Brad, Johnny, and everyone on the Triple Play Fantasy team that keeps this engine rolling. Like, subscribe, continue to love the game of basketball. Let's hope you make it to the championship. We're here to answer questions. Shout out brother Matt at DY_nasty dude on Twitter for the intro flex. Shout out Ben Bow on the vocals for our Triple Play theme.
Love it.
Metronomy Music. Shout out Tweezy, friend of the cast. And then at the end, I do want to give a special shout out to my boy Chase, writer of our Triple Play Fantasy Tap In family. Is been a Wizards team assistant for the last 14 years, and he finally got his first head coaching job over at Northwest High School in Montgomery County, and they won regionals. They made it to the quarterfinals. Their season just got cut short yesterday, but it was the first time in school history that they won the division. And in your first year as a varsity head coach, to be that, he's here to stay, and I can't wait to get him on and talk to him on an epic run. So shout out my boy Chase for a little state championship basketball, which I'm heavily in, and it's awesome. So not only is their playoffs for fantasy, but those high school sports are in the thick of things. So continue to scout and watch, because those players are coming next.
Love it, man. Love it.
See you next week for week 21, which is playoff time.